everyone. It's been a while since I did a video, and I was asked if I was going to do any more videos based on the Tim Holtz techniques I've learned. I decided today I would use the paint resist technique. Lots of us have used embossing resist, but I don't know how many of you have used paint resist, and it does give you a little bit different effect. Now what you're going to need to do this is some stamp, and I found that a blocky stamp works best. White acrylic paint, I'm using a paint dauber, some ink pads, and for this I'm using Stampin' Up's Pretty in Pink, Calypso Coral, and Daffodil Delight, and some sort of applicator. Now you can use sponges, or I'm going to use one of these applicators because I've just fallen in love with them. And you need water and a paper towel, and that's it. So what you're going to do with your white cardstock is you're going to take your paint dabber, or you can use regular acrylic paint and some sort of applicator, and you're going to dab all over. Now, when your stamp is all covered with the paint, you're simply going to stamp it on the white cardstock. Press really hard, be careful not to move it, because everywhere there's paint, the ink won't take. Okay, pull it off. And now I want you to heat dry this with your heat tool because it has to be bone dry for you to use it. Now remember, when you get paint on your stamps, you want to wash them off fairly quickly because you don't want the paint to get in the crevices. I found an old toothbrush works great for this. Now that our paint is dry, we're going to take our inks, ink up our applicators, and we're just going to start rubbing on. Now I'm using soft springy colors because the card that I'm making calls for those. And I think that Upsy Daisy calls for those as well. It just suits those pretty spring colors. You're just going to use your inks and you're going to ink up around your stamp. Now don't worry that I've made a few smudges because I'm not using this whole image for the card I'm making. Isn't that getting pretty? Like I say, I'm not using the whole piece of cardstock, so don't worry about those edges. If you were, you'd make sure that you started off of the paper. Okay, I think you can see what is happening. Now when you get that all done the way you want it, you're just going to take and spritz water onto your paper towel. Not too wet because you don't want your acrylic paint to come off. And then you're just going to very carefully rub over, and you're taking the ink off of the paint. It acts like any other resist. Isn't that pretty? See, it gives it a nice soft resist, and I found that big chunky stamps work very well for this. Now for the card that I'm doing, I only want part of this image, So I'm going to punch it out. With the 2.5-inch circle punch. Just line up what you want. And punch it out. And there you have a very, very pretty kind of resist. I hope you give it a try, and I'll talk to you again later. Bye.